Trump is looking in to giving every couple $5,000 to have a kid. And I want to talk about the pros and cons of this because it's a fascinating, very interesting policy. But first, I want to give some brief context on all of this as to why I think he even brought it up in the first place. The replacement rate right now is 2.1. That's what it is in a population, meaning you have to have 2.1 babies per couple to maintain your population. And if you don't do that, you have to import people. In other words, you have to have immigrants come in. And that's honestly the reason why the United States has been growing, is because we've had 11 million immigrants come into, illegal immigrants, I should add, come into our country just during the Biden administration. Without those, our population would be decreasing, because the problem is our rate is not 2.1, but 1.67 right now. And that, of course, is way below replacement rate. So if we keep at this and we limit immigration, which I'm in favor of and most Americans are in favor of right now, we're going to have a huge population decline, which is a really bad idea. It's a bad thing. Now, enters Elon Musk. Elon is obviously, he's very close to the president. He's got a lot of pull. Elon has 12 children at this point. He's very passionate about this. This is kind of one of his big political issues that got him into politics well before he even joined, kind of the MAGA movement and Donald Trump. I think that Elon Musk is why this is being discussed. I think he's the one that kind of catalyzed all of this. And I think it's great. The pros, let me get into the pros and cons. The pros of the $5,000 plan is that it incentivizes people to have kids, obviously. It shows our society values kids as well, because even though money isn't always a great indicator of, I'm not saying a kid is worth $5,000, but money does indicate some sort of value. So if you're giving money for something, you're showing, okay, our society values that thing. And that's a good thing. It also, this is something specific that the Trump administration talked about, incentivizes marriages, because my belief, I think this is what they were saying, is it would only be true for this $5,000 credit would only go to true marriages. In other words, people, who are married, that are a man and a woman being married. So same-sex marriage, I say that in quotations because that's not marriage, but in any case, it is legally now, unfortunately. That would not be included in this. And that's really good. That's a great thing. The cons, on the other hand, I think outweigh the pros, and I'll talk about why. The biggest con for me is that, well, maybe not the biggest. It's one of the biggest. It's that it obviously grows government spending. 5,000 is a lot of money. And I think the biggest problem, I would say, apart from that, is it gets the message of kids completely wrong. In my opinion, this is more of a marketing problem. This is a social problem. It's really not something government should be touching that much. Government certainly shouldn't be getting in the way of having kids. They've done tons of things that have gotten in the way of having kids, but reversing those regulations, those problems is great. However, incentivizing people to have kids, I think, is a marketing and a social problem. In my opinion, it's not a money problem. And I know people are going to say, well, it's expensive to have kids. But let's be honest, $5,000, is that really going to make a difference, guys? It's not. It's really not. I have a newborn, so I know it's true. It's expensive. However, the data actually shows, if you look, the data shows that married couples, not single people, obviously, married couples actually get wealthier for every kid that they have. And there's a lot of things, that could contribute to that. I think it drives people to make more money. The trendy thing to say, of course, is that kids are financial leeches. It's not, it's not feasible in today's world. That's just not true. The reason why that's not true is, do you think that the farm couple, this is the question I always ask people, do you think that the farm couple in 1830 could afford kids? Of course they're not. Of course they're not going to be able to. Then again, at the same time, to the point of me saying that people get wealthier when they have kids, those kids could actually work on the farm and help the family back then. The same principles hold true today. But this idea that it's all about money is stupid, because people have been having way more kids in the past. And I'm sorry, people in the 1800s or 1700s or 0 BC aren't better off than we are today. That's ridiculous. And then, of course, is the much more important part, which is the immeasurable joy that kids give their parents, and how it's literally our purpose on earth to mentor, love, help bring up the next generation in whatever capacity we can, whether we're able to have kids or not. But that marketing needs to be done, because the trendy thing to do right now is to talk about how hard it is to have kids and how they're just leeches all the time. And that would be cool. The problem is that's made by people who don't have kids. And some of the people who do have kids don't do that great of a job with the marketing either. The problem, at the end of the day, is social Marxism, along with feminism, which are really one and the same, People have been told their entire purpose in life is to do whatever gives them the most pleasure. That's what social Marxism teaches. Women are told that they're supposed to get their value from their career, and men are told that their worth comes from having as much sex with people with women as possible without impregnating them. And that's the problem. Change the marketing. Stop telling people that's where their worth comes from. It does not. Stop telling people that pleasure trumps joy. It never did. Wickedness never was happiness. And I would maybe replace the word happiness with joy, which is what kids bring. So change the marketing. You're not going to need to give anyone any money if you do that. If you guys enjoy reading, but you don't know what book to read right now, I wanted to introduce you to my book, A New Cult. It's up on the bookshelf over there. I talk about how the left has literally devolved into a cult. I talk about some crazy stories. I know you'll enjoy reading it. I had a great time writing as well. It's on Amazon right now. The link is in the description below. Thanks so much for watching the video, guys. Please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. It helps spread my videos and the conservative message around, and you can check out another video right here.